And welcome back. Okay, another wonderful analogy for you. Here you go. Billy Diamond. Billy Diamond was our horsebacking guide in a recent trip out to Arizona. We went horseback riding and it was wonderful. We're waiting at the hotel and up pulls a big pickup truck, dually of course, and Billy hops out and says, "Howdy, partner." I won't try to do the impersonation for you, but Billy hops out and I had a little guarded at first, but then he warmed up and we hopped in his truck. We ran out to the ranch and we signed all of the "we can kill you, but you can't sue us" release forms and got all saddled up, picked out helmets, my wife and the kids, and we went horseback riding. Beautiful, beautiful, nice and warm spring break trip for the kids. And just beautiful country out in the mountains. And so we're riding along, and I have to confess, my mind wandered. I imagine we're on a I don't know, like a cattle drive and taking the herd to market and watching out for bandits and other bad guys along the way. And it was kind of a nice little mental break. And then all of a sudden, hey, Billy called out, "Wake up, get back on the trail." And I looked down and the horse, of course, has wandered off this little trail we're on and is eating some bush that he's not supposed to eat. And so I gave the reins a tug, and Billy, of course, gave me a little bit of a lecture, stay on the trail. Rattlesnakes, badger holes, and other sharp rocks are off the beaten path. Nothing but trouble. Stay on the beaten path. Now, I said, of course, yes, sir. Billy didn't seem like somebody to mess with. And but we rode along together and we got to talking, and Billy says, "So what do you do back in your world?" I took that nicely, I guess. So I said, "Well, I'm a financial planner, Billy." And I said, with my own little grin mirroring his, I said, "And you're not the only one with a couple decades of experience." And he liked that. And he said, "Well, that's interesting." He goes, do you like it?" I said, "Yeah, I love it. I enjoy helping people. It's very interesting work, and help people make the transition or plan for their retirements and then move into retirement and stay retired." He goes, "Well, don't let your clients do what I did." And I said, "Well, what's going on? What happened?" He goes, "Well, I'll tell you what happened, and you can tell people about it so they don't do what I did." He said, a few years back, my wife inherited $280,000 from a relative. And that was a lot of money to us. Riding and roping don't pay much. And we got that money and we're like, wow, this is something now that we could really use that to secure our retirement, and maybe I can get off this horse someday. And I said, "Well, that sounds great." He goes, "Well, it didn't end very well." I said, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "Well, we got the money, and then, I met this fella that said he could help me with the money, and he would give us some ideas, and we said, he seemed like a nice guy, and we had ridden together a few times and seemed like an all right guy to me. So we put the money with him, and it was a scam. He stole our money. That's the bottom line. He stole our money. And we never saw any of it. And I was sick over it. Billy said that his wife told him that it wasn't really his fault, that they'd been snookered. But Billy said to me, he goes, I laid in bed staring at the ceiling for over a year, just thinking about that every night. Now, the guy ended up getting a 5-year prison sentence for his bad, nefarious activity, which wasn't just taking Billy's money. He had done it with other people. And Billy said, it's a good thing he went to jail, because if not, I probably would have strangled him. And I don't doubt that he would have. I might have been tempted myself if it were me. But Billy said, I should have known better. Here I was just telling you to stay on the beaten path, stay on the beaten trail, because off the trail are sharp rocks, badger holes, and rattlesnakes. Well, guess what? I got off the beaten trail for investing. I coulda, woulda, shoulda. I should have checked out that advisor. I should have, he's not an advisor though, he's a snake oil salesman, Billy said. I should have done a better job of thinking about what I really wanted. I should have done my homework. I should have not put all the money in one thing. I'm like, man, is this guy reading my mail? Good grief, this is what I tell people all the time. And so Billy said, that's the problem, because, getting off the beaten path, while maybe that is fun or seems exciting, that's where the bad guys are, the thieves and the crooks and the cattle rustlers, So Billy asked me to do this, and I'm doing it now. He said, please tell other people about my experience. Tell them not to do what I did. Pay attention. Do some homework. Find somebody with a good reputation. Find somebody with experience. Don't trust your money to somebody that doesn't have the right skills and the right setup. So I said, well, what would you do differently? He goes, well, I would all of that, sure, but I would also just do my homework. I would do more research. Look into the different things. Take some time. Not be so impulsive or feel like I got to put that money to work right away. I could have taken more time to evaluate my options. And I would probably have a better retirement. In fact, be off of the horse now. But because all that happened, I still regret it. I'm still sick about it. But there's not much I can do about it, is what Billy said. And then he added something really kind of, strong and poignant to me. And I think a lot of people have experienced this and had these same feelings. He said, there's nothing I can do now. I've got to keep doing what I'm doing. I can't go back and change the past. I only can make good decisions going forward. But I've got to do the best I can. If I could go back and change it, I would, and do differently. And he said, I'm going to keep roping and riding. I'm going to keep taking folks like you out for a horseback ride and take you out on the trail and do some other cowboy work. But I only can do that for so long. And I probably didn't mention, Billy's 77. And he's tough. He's a, tan leather face, squinty eyes, just, you can, his hands are like, steel covered with leather. But he can't do it forever, and either the doctor's going to tell him stop at some point or his body will. And so, but until then, he's going to keep doing what he can to make a living and pay the bills. The problem with that is what if he couldn't? What if he had to stop? What if at 70 or 65 he would have had to stop? What would he do then? Maybe a little bit of Social Security, no pension and roping and riding. So the problem here is that when you have a chunk of money, heed Billy's words. If you are retiring with a 401k, you've got a lump sum from your pension, you've sold a house, you've got an inheritance, take the time to do your homework. Don't be in a hurry. And do your research and invest in a smart way and be careful. And if you do that, you'll plan stronger.